let's move on to another session of the day. We have another technical session with the theme of new business avenues in railways and urban transport sector in India. For this, we have with us Mr. Rajesh Agrawal, former member, Railway Board. I request you, sir, to please have your seat on the dais. Sir is currently serving as advisor at Tata Steel Limited. Mr. Rajesh Agrawal, a former member at the Railway Board and a 1980 IRS ME officer, is renowned for his expertise in turnaround management and manufacturing. Very warm welcome to you, sir. Now I request Nanduri Srinivas, Director, DFCCIL. I request you, sir, to please kindly join with the dignitary on the dais. Sir has experienced Indian Railway Traffic Service Officer, now hold the role of Director at DFCCIL with the Master in Agriculture Economics and Certificate in Leadership and Strategy Management. Srinivas, sir, has a diverse educational background. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Let's move on to another panelist. Mr. Anil, sir, is a Director of LEAP Infraasys. I request you, sir, to please kindly join with the dignitary on the dais. Mr. Anil, sir, is a current director at a LEAP Infraasys, is a seasoned professional in the railway industry known for his insightful leadership. His tenure at a LEAP Infraasys has led to notable accomplishment, positioning the company as a stabilizers in railways infrastructure. Let's move on to another panelist, Mr. Hukum Singh Chaudhary, sir, Director. I request you, sir, to please kindly join with the dignitaries. Sir is serve as a director at EGIS India, overseeing project management, consultancy and design initiatives in the railway business lines. With over 35 years of experience, he held key role in organization. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Now I request Mr. Ashish Singh, sir, Vice President, KEC International. This session is basically moderated by Mr. Ashish, sir. Ashish, sir, is currently serve as a Vice President at KEC International Limited, bringing over 31 years of extensive experience in the railways and metro sectors. His career includes significant role in the esteemed organizations such as Pratibha Industries Limited and Reliance Industries Limited, where he plays a key role winning and executing major projects in metro rail. I welcome once again for the session and hand over the mic to the honorable panelist of the session.
Very good afternoon. So, first of all, let us welcome the eminent panelists of the dais and have a clap for them. थोड़ा सेशन में एनर्जी लेके आते हैं मेरे तरफ काफी देर से थोड़ा सा डर हो गया था मेरा and it is a very, since the panelists is a very knowledgeable in the session, knowledgeable in their field, I would like that let me ask some questions with them and then probably the floor will be open for the question and answer. Now the session topic is new business avenue in railway and urban transport sector. So new avenues means anything which can be capitalized for the business, then only it has some meaning. So probably the basic avenues which I can see in the infrastructure development is probably the bullet train, metro, semi-high speed rail, conventional railway with the technology of Kavach, your capacity augmentation, ABS, probably LTE as a spectrum So there is a lot of things which is coming. Now also 2025 as an upcoming opportunity, rolling stock, cutting edge technology of digitalization, artificial intelligence for productivity, maintenance, safety, passenger enhancement, adopting new energy, probably which we are talking the hydrogen or the solar, something which can be utilized, smart ticketing, integration with other mode of transport, safety and security, skill development, all these things. So first of all, I would like to start with Srinivas sir. Sir, DFCC is actively working with the development of multimodal logistic park, freight terminals, and their integration with the DFCC stations. Could you please share the key insight and the current status of this initiative? Number one. Number two, can you also update the update on the current DFCC ongoing project and their timeline? Please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Basically, DFC is.
Sir, just a minute.
Yeah.
I would like request that probably we will limit our answers to 2.5 to 3 minutes. Keep it
Sure,
in line with you. Thank
sure.
you.
I'm aware everybody is going to be hungry, so we are already late by 45 minutes. So I'll try to finish it off in 45 seconds. 81% of our DFC has been completed, and trains are already running. We are running basically the freight trains. But let me just tell you only one thing. When you are talking about business opportunities and all, DFC is a separate ecosystem. Though traditionally we are running all the freight trains of Indian Railways, we are trying to develop a different ecosystem of running freight trains as per the customer's needs also. So we have brought in certain innovative practices like trucks on train. We have also started aggregation business, as we lost that aggregation business to we tried through containerization, we tried through freight forwarders, but it did not succeed. So we are now roping in e-commerce and other people and trying to do that door-to-door campaign that is going to come through. So with 81% completed, we are now targeted to complete everything by 24-25 financial year. So that will revolutionize the entire freight movement in the country. We are now trying to break two shackles in the country, Indian Railways ecology. One is the class system, second is the size. Indian Railways remained a bulk transport, leaving out the small entrepreneurs and the small cargo. That's how out of 6,000 million tons of the cargo which is available in the entire logistics, we are only confined to 1,500 million tons. So we are now after that blue ocean. Now, second thing is the class system. Like Indian social society, we are also divided by the classes. The same wagon will be allotted to different commodities of different classes, charging differently. So we are now coming to a sort of an agnostic system wherein we are recommending a rate system which is class. It is not class based, it is going to be path based, and it is going to be capacity based. So these are the new things which will come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, can I also understand what are the upcoming plan and the initiative in the future for DFCCIL?
I think I have covered that already.
Now, next question is to Mr. Agrawal. In March 2023, Tata Steel and the Indian Railway enters into the partnership, entering the supply of lightweight seats and the interior panels for the Vande Bharat trains. Can you update the status of this project? Number one.
Yeah, as you are all aware, Tata's is already into interiors of vehicles in all categories worldwide. They've got the best of interior furnishing. So they ventured into the interior furnishing of the Vande Bharat trains. The interior furnishing of the Vande Bharat trains is a subject, not much addressed as yet by the Ministry of Railways. We are still looking more at the exterior of the train, not too much at the interiors. So Tata has brought in new technology, new materials, new designs to improve the seating system, which was a major cause of complaint for the existing Vande Bharat trains. So we have one of the largest orders for seats and one of the largest orders for the interior furnishing of panels. Now, unfortunately, since it has been distributed and dispersed among so many vendors, so an ICF has a policy of supply just in time. So they tell us that, okay, for the next train, please supply. And as and when they tell us for the next train, please supply, we supply. So as of now, you know, as far as Tata is concerned, it's like virtually unlimited capacity. It's like virtually we can exponentially increase the supply. But it will depend on ICFs telling us that please complete the supplies in the next 2 months or next 3 months. So that's where we are. We would very much like the Indian Railways to consolidate the larger requirement, because just dispersing everything here and there, in a broader sense, you know, we are spending 2.4 lakh crores. Now, where is it going? I mean, is it just being thrown for everybody to pick up whatever pieces they can pick up? Or are we aggregating and consolidating? Similarly, if we are making, let's say, 400 Vande Bharat trains, it will be better to consolidate and tell Tatas that, okay, you give us these 100 trains and this is how it will be. There would be enough scope for everybody.
Sir, can I also ask you the question about what are the other projects which you are seeing to work with the Indian Railway or the metro projects?
So actually, we would like newer materials to come, you know, because I remember when I introduced the Mahamana Express, it completely changed the way of interior furnishing on railways. I mean, the press was to say that now you don't need to travel in airlines. The railways are giving you similar interiors. Now we've translated all that into LHB coaches and we've converted that into trains. But as we are perhaps all aware, the standard of interiors on trains is far, far inferior to what we might see in a car or what we might see in buses and, you know, the aspirational requirement of the people even right here in the audience. So we would like Tatas to be engaged in taking it to the next higher level and, you know, bringing the basics. So that's where we perhaps can come in. But otherwise, if it's just going to be a dispersed market, it's going to be very difficult to navigate.
Okay. So, Mr. Jangid, I have a question for you. You see, first I want to understand your primary projects that you are presently engaged with the metro and the Indian Railway.
All right, okay. So namaste and good afternoon to all. You see, I am also from Indian Railway background and I started my own consulting firm which is about 12-13 years old, Leap Infraasys Private Limited. And we are into system design, all the rail systems which include track, traction power, AC and DC, 2x25 including signaling and telecom, platform screen door, AFC and all those systems. And currently we are engaged with a few of the metro like UP Metro, Agra Metro. We are doing the traction design, TVS design, E&M design. For Kanpur Metro, we are doing the traction system design. For the RRTS project, the Delhi Meerut, we are engaged by IRCON for their designing of the power supply system. Then a unique kind of a niche capability that we have developed over the year is about the system study, which include the traction simulation, the tunnel ventilation study, the EMC study, the system assurance, the reliability studies, and we have many clients by now. You see, until very recently, up to 4 to 5 years ago, it was thought that those studies can only be done by the foreign firms. Now we are doing it not only for Indian client, but for the foreign client also. So that's a little contribution that we have made in, I would say, at least design in India, if not make in India. So yeah, that's what we are doing currently.
Great. So there will be competitive courageous. The question will be different to it is top. So the next question to you. Since India is working for the mission of for increasing the speed of trains to 160 kilometers per hour on water tools. In this regard, I want to understand what is your perspective on this initiative, number one. In your opinion, what challenges might Indian Railway encounter in this project and what are the possible solutions you see for it?
Okay, so Mission Raftar is essentially increasing the speed of the freight train from the 25 kmph out to doubling it to 50 kmph and increasing the speed of the passenger train from, I think, 50 or so, average speed from 50 to 100 and utilizing the 160 kmph of the Vande Bharat capability. So that essentially requires the straightening of the track, which may not be really easy. It's a very challenging task. The built-up track which is already there in the city environment, the urban environment, it's very difficult to straighten them up. So I believe the solution, without being said so, could be laying the new track for the passenger transport. So to my understanding, a couple of projects are already under feasibility study by Indian Railway, that Jaipur to Delhi and Bangalore to Chennai. There could be more projects also. So as soon as those things are completed, the tracks would be straighter when we are building a new track, which could be fit for 200 kmph. Vande Bharat can easily run, new generation trains can run there. And then the existing track get released for the freight only, so thereby increasing their speed as well. Yeah.
The question was primarily to the current corridors where the trains are running. What is to be done on a different terrain with the power block, traffic block? So you see any challenges in
So
that?
it's really very difficult. You see, already our lines are oversaturated. We have a certain capacity, trains are being run more than that. So getting a block for doing the track work, the fitting the new coverage system, new signaling system is a big challenge. So that's why I'm saying, without being said, so railway may be perhaps silently moving towards laying the new tracks for the passenger system.
Srinivas, you want to add anything on this?
Look, basically when you talk about the maintenance or introducing anything, it's under the traffic conditions is really difficult, wherein we are already oversaturated. Now, one question which he has also mentioned is raising the speeds. We have, in DFC, we have produced a system availability index, wherein the downtime of the system, we will get the downtime basically because of infra downtime or the services downtime. So we are actually measuring. One way of improving the services will be correcting those errors, those defects which are happening, and ensuring that the downtime is limited to the maintenance period. So because maybe it is because of the new system we have followed, we are able to succeed in giving the blocks or whatever. But the same thing we are recommending, and it is being now done. Indian Railways has already come out with a rolling block program, and the maintenance schedules are now being given across the Indian Railways. So hopefully in the next maybe 1 year, it will streamline and will come through. So as far as we are concerned, raising the speeds will be directly possible with reduction in the downtime of the system, which we have very high level at this stage today because of both infra failures as well as the service failures.
Yes, the question why I asked, because most of the infrastructure companies who are associated with this, they are working on these various segments, whether it is a realignment of a track, whether it is a OHG modification, whether it is a cover. So all these things are coming together with the downtime of sufficient downtime, which requires sufficient downtime. The power blocks and traffic blocks are not available, and the projects are getting delayed because of these issues. So it is a forum where the panelists are here and the eminent you all are here and the people are working on this segment. So that was the reason for this question. Mr. Hukum Singh, a question to you, sir.
Yes, please.
What are the key initiatives has Rajesh implemented to foster the smarter and more sustainable mobility in the metro and the railway sector? Number one. What notable advancements and the innovation should be embraced?
Good afternoon, everyone. EGIS is a French company, and I'm happy to share that 26% of the shareholding lies with the employees. There are very few. So there are very few companies having so much percentage of share to its employees. So we are more than 25 years old in India, and we have contributed directly or indirectly on almost all the metros. Though our contribution on the conventional rail, we are starting now, entering into PMC and other areas where we can help them. We do have a Aegis development fund, which we use exclusively for environmental issues, R&R issues, and we are very sensitive to environment rather. We have Aegis fund at the global level to help improve the environment and the ecosystems. Coming to what we did, I would like to quote one example at Surat, and we were contributing to a flamingo rehabilitation plan on Tapi River, which was very unique, very close to personally at my heart, because I was team leader for that. And we worked 7, 8, 9 months along with all the stakeholders in Surat, which is as good as, let's say, Indore city, another second running smart city in India. So that was our one contribution. Generally, we are contributing towards the system side of the railways. Mumbai Line 3 is another marquee project where we are proud to be associated, which is likely to be commissioned in 2024 in phase 1 and phase 2. So going forward, we are conscious of the fact that AI or the digitalization is the future. We need to be sensitive to that, and we need to be working towards that. And at the group level, we have a digital lab, we call it, and initiatives are invited across geographies, which way we can help our clients, maybe asset management side, maybe energy conservation side. And one of the tool is a carbon tracker we are having. So we help clients to account for the carbons which are being used and how to have the alternate construction techniques and technologies where we can save carbon and we can account for that.
Since you are from a background of international consultancy firm, and what do you see as anticipated infrastructure technological landscape for, say, by 2030 for India?
Yeah, we have to be 5 trillion economy, of course, and the economy is largely driven by infrastructure. And next would be the service sector, of course. And infrastructure, I would take you a little aside to the Metro Policy 2017, which is very exhaustive document, and I would be very happy to congratulate MOUD and other stakeholders. So we have given all the options, funding options, the partnership options, and the bundling and unbundling of the stuff. So the knowledge accumulation is mostly over as far as MRTS projects are over in the urban scenario. Now we have to act, and we have to act fast, because there is a cost to delay, and that is a huge cost. So we need to plug that cost, and that the surest way is to involve all stakeholders, and which we are involving, but we still need to work towards that, so to minimize delays. One of the panelists from MMRD earlier pointed out that delay in his presentation slide. I was very happy that the government side is recognizing that. So we have to plug delays and we have to move forward. Coming to the pipeline of the projects, the huge pipeline really. We are having warehousing because of this online marketing and all that. The new avenues are getting emerged every day. We have to give connectivity there. Port is there. High speed are there. We have to upgrade our existing system. You are pointing out towards the delays on the block side and all that. So we have to upgrade signaling system. Even Kolkata Metro, we are helping to upgrade the system with the CBTC, the existing traditional interlocking system. So future is there for infrastructure, and we.
I agree. The timeline of such a huge investment is very, very important. The implementation and to accomplish the projects, because you see the DFCC executing 1 lakh crore of project, and it will get delayed for 1 day. Leave aside the principal part, the interest will come around 35 crore rupees per day, which is not recoverable. So for implementation of the infrastructure project on the timely manner is very, very important. Now, one question which I want to keep open to everyone, I think I have asked to Mr. Jangid, Hukum Singh, your perspective on the anticipated future of the metro and the railway sector over the next 5 years.
I'd like to say that we have very laudable objectives, 5 trillion economy and developed country by so-and-so and whatever. But let's see where we are in 2022. We are spending about 2 lakh crores per year and planning to spend 100 lakh crores in infrastructure. Are we getting the return, or have we reached that level where we should have, or are we moving in that direction? We had a session in the morning with academicians, the theory is going on well. Now we've had sessions with the professionals. They are geared up to deliver. But we still seem to be completely stuck. So what it obviously means is that the theory and practice,
they
are not going together. So quite fundamentally, as far as railways are concerned, after having spent lakhs of crores per year, where we are earlier spending a few thousand crores per year, have the number of passengers increased? Perhaps no. Have the number of freight increased? Perhaps no. We've got some 19 or 20,000 wagons lying idle. Has the speed of the goods train improved? The answer is no. Just recently there was an article on how the speeds have actually reduced. Have we got so many hundreds of railway stations, smart railway stations? Perhaps no. So we've not, moved in that direction. So I think we require now a serious course correction. And then we can say that we can move for the next 5 years. Because right now what's happening is the theory is not getting converted into practice. Now very specifically, rather than, fact, as far as railways are concerned, the railways in the current sense are not going to be moving much forward because 99% of our passengers are not perhaps what we see in this room. They are those, who you can crowd like sardines into a train. And the remaining 1% don't want to use the train, they'd rather take an Indigo flight or whatever. How do we get them onto the train? In Switzerland, everybody wants to use the train, whatever, whichever category he is. He wants to use the train. But here, how do we get these guys into the train? So we need to address that. And I can tell you as a member of the railway board, we had done a huge amount of transformation, I can discuss it with you separately, on how we had actually got people to start moving into the train. So the serious course correction is required. And very specifically, we've had for last 150 years trains running from every place in the country to every place in the country. Because every parliamentarian wants from his constituency to be everywhere else in the country. That's not how railways work anywhere in the world. In the railways, you have point-to-point intercity movement. Then you transfer into regional movement. You transfer to suburban movement. And the last mile is given to you by the metro. We envisaged this when I was a member of the railway board in 2019-20. So we moved the Vande Bharat train as primarily an intercity train, which will have a range of 800 to 1,000 kilometers, and get the people so that a sector like Delhi-Banaras, where people projected zero traffic, we've never, now the waiting list is also not available for you. So we need the Vande Bharats to become point-to-point trains. We want the memos at 160 kmph to become regional trains for the last 300 to 500 kilometers. We want these suburban trains at 130 or even more to become your suburban trains. I can't run a train in Mumbai at 90 kilometers per hour across that busy Mumbai section when I can run it at 130. So that is a serious change that has to take place as far as railways is concerned. And we need to see how in the railways we can at least emulate what trains are doing, not maybe in Western Europe or North America, but even in some developing countries of Eastern Europe and Turkey and such like. So that's where I think, railways is to have a serious course correction. We should get together and work on this, maybe some steering committee or whatever. When Infra works on that.
Thank you.
And I'll just finish with the metro. So now we have these metro trains. You just told me that Delhi Metro is getting into a problem. For last 20 years, we've been thinking of having an urban metropolitan transport authority. And in 20 years, it has not happened. I cannot understand why it cannot happen in the next 30 days. It's being discussed for 20 years. So you can't have metros. You have a high-speed train, that's a separate thing. You have an RRTS, that's separate. You have a metro, that's separate. You have a bus transport, that's separate. You have some Delhi suburban with Indian Railways, that is separate. You don't have a metro transport authority. So if we are going to run in this, we can keep spending lakhs of crores in urban infra and perhaps only be wasting money, not getting any return.
So, Agrawal sir, we have understood. I know that Mr. Agrawal can speak on this topic for long, but without stopping. So, this question is to you, Mr. Srinivas.
I have a little bit positive mindset are happening in railways right now. Every one of us knows what exactly is the problem. It is basically we want more number of trains to run, and we want more number of passenger trains to run, more number of, we have the capacity, but where is the tracks and where are the tracks and where is the line capacity to run those trains? That's the major problem we have. That's the course which Indian Railways is going now. We are trying to add about 5,000 kilometers of tracks per year. Now, line capacity expansion is the major emphasis that is being attempted. Fundamental. Upgradation of technology and all that will follow, but first you have to have the capacity to run. You can bring 100 Vande Bharats, but in the process, if you can't run normal passenger trains, you are not doing justice to the system. That's the exact point what we are looking at, is creation of capacity. In that, DFC has already taken off. If you see the entire North Central Railway as well as North Western Railway where we are operational, the entire passenger trains are not getting delayed because of fog or whatever. We have taken out the entire goods trains running right from Mughalsarai, DDU now, towards Delhi. Almost 55 trains out of that 75 have already moved on to DFC, decongesting the system. This is the capacity with which we can operate. And DFC is only 50% full. We are still not reached the line capacity. This is the capacity which is needed to be created across the country. We are late. So that's where I would say, sir, you have seen, you tried to create it, but now with adequate budgetary allocations coming through, we are hopeful of getting that line capacity through. Now, I think everybody is familiar with the line capacity expansion programs which they have given. We still say multi-tracking is good, but you need separate tracks. Within the same existing two-line system, if you want to add 4 lines and run exclusive freight, it is not possible. 2006, a lot of manthan has taken place, and then people have decided that you need to have separate freight, separate the freight system and the passenger system, and upgrade the passenger systems in such a way that speed differentials between the trains will come down. The regional trains and the long distance trains, they should be segregated, they should run differently. I think that sort of a continuum in thought process, that is what is required, what you have advocated, I agree with that. But the portent of things as we see now is capacity expansion and the technology expansion. But what I foresee is much more what is required is the thought process. Are we in the same building the ecosystem as required, or we are going in fits and bursts movement? That is the only consideration which we need to see. Like for example, when I said DFC, when we have done it, I was just going through the NHA presentation where he said we have transferred the benefit to the customer. Now here the question is, when we have brought in a system, have we transferred the system? We are not able to transfer the system, that benefit to the customer, except the speed at which we can move and the logistics cost where he will get the benefit because of the speed. That in the today's supply chain system where people have already built for time, if we say we have reduced time, he says, I have already built in. So then what's the benefit that I am getting it? So there is a thought process which is required. I am struck with one particular thought as a railwayman when he said he is able to bring the trucks and operate the trucks with such low cost, and the electric trucks will come with national highways expanding. Where is the possibility of Indian Railways getting more traffic? Unless we change our mindset and try to come out with some certain innovative solutions which are useful to the logistics industry. And individual entrepreneurs should be having some motivation to come to some economic system. He will go for the economic system which is easy for him. So we need to change the logic, that processes which we have been bound. One system which we are talking about is an agnostic pricing tariff system. Second thing which we are talking about, the size system. So the capacity increasing ultimately has, probably first time in DFC, we have built the capacity far ahead of the demand. And we are now searching for the demand. Where are the number of trains that can fill our tracks? So this is the solution where Indian Railways is going ahead, and we are now looking at fulfilling that particular ambition of, increasing the capacity. We have already done it. Second, we are now increasing the terminals and coming out with business solutions. Thereby, that logistics cost should come down. And in fact, one of the things which particularly the urban areas, we came out with a solution which we have given it to the stakeholders, they are pursuing it, is looking beyond the boundaries of finding a terminal and unloading there. We are now coming out with some unique solutions wherein we will now give a distribution system to the customers wherein they don't need to go to a fixed terminal or fixed solutions. It will be a dynamic thing. So where he wants to take this material, that will be possible to do it with a multimodal approach. That is what we are driving in. So these sort of things have to come. The thought process has to come. That's the potent, and I'm happy to note that this is happening.
Good, sir. So the last mile connectivity for any infrastructure railway transport projects are very important. Mr. Jangid, your views on this?
While I'm not an expert on this, but I share a very positive outlook that new tracks, new line need to be built in the country, and the passenger and freight trains should be segregated to achieve the higher speed objective. Yeah.
So I think the objective of the government and the general direction is that all the funds are available, intentions are there, but since I'm talking from my perspective as an EPC company, but it is not getting translated right at the ground because still the mindset has not changed. Many things have started changing in the recent times, and things have started moving now in the direction which the government wants to move. And as far as the line capacity concerned, issue is there. So probably it is not going through the high capex cost of multi-tracking or new lines. Probably it is going through some technological advancement of ABS. The entire 64,000 kilometers of Indian Railway network is going for auto block signaling. LTE is coming as a safety. Kavach is coming as a safety. So I think I'm generally positive on this. Similarly, in the metro segment, the old construction methodology of laying track with the ballastless top-down method of old technology is slowly going out, phasing out, is coming with the new slab system, or precast system, having better quality, better life cycle cost. So I'm generally positive on this. With this, I open the forum for the question answer if there is any.
You see, I would like to say one thing. More we do, more we need to do. And academics, I was very happy to see this Gati Shakti Vidyalaya and that Transport University in Lucknow and Railway Academy and all that. Academics demand some rigor for robustness of any scheme, any research, anything. But industry want a solution, ready-made solution. Okay, give me, and I as a project manager, I'll implement it. So maybe we need to marry the both, and close interaction has to happen. Industry has to involve academics, and academics has to venture out from the campuses to see the areas and to work together. But we should be very positive. Many things have happened really. We share concern of sir that things should have been better. We are slightly late also, because this academia and industry thing has already been happening in Europe, but definitely it has started happening in our case also. 25 years before, when Delhi Metro started, and we saw that barricades were erected and it is written with the chief safety officer certification that this ladder is safe to use. So we were not believing our eyes whether we are in our country. So lot of work has also happened, and lot of work is happening, but more we do, more we need to do. That is there. Thank you.
So any question? Yeah, please, sir. Can we pass on the mic there?
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. I'm J.K. Bhatti. It was really a good panel discussion. Before I ask my question, first of all, my good afternoon, Shri Mr. H.S. Singh Chaudhary, because I have worked with him at Pune Metro from 2018 to 2019. And I know each and everything, nothing to be explained here. Now my question is a common question to Mr. Anil and Mr. Rajesh Agrawal. Sir, as you are aware that Vande Bharat Express, that is T18 trains, run for a distance of 500 kilometers. And Vande Bharat metro train, which is India's first indigenous train, semi-height, is designed for a distance less than 100 kilometers. My question is, the Vande Bharat Express trains, the maximum speed limit is 180 kilometers per hour, and the permissible limit is 130 kilometers. Now today we are talking about the beautification of the coaches, then the coverage technology, maintenance of track. My question is, because in Indian Railways we are having a lot of kilometers, and what will be the technical, so my question is from technical and feasible point of view, feasibility point of view, what can be done to increase the speed of existing trains and Vande Bharat trains under the limitations of the existing trains?
So perhaps I think the audience must be aware that in 1964, I think during the time of Lal Bahadur Shastri ji and a little later, the Indian Railways introduced the Rajdhani Express. That was to run at 120 kilometers per hour. And at that point of time, RDSO was mandated to increase the speed of all trains in the country to 160 kmph. That was 50 years ago. We have track standards, we have rolling stock standards, we have everything that is available to reach 160 kmph. Now, unfortunately, it was only about 4 years ago that we managed to reach 130 kmph. So that is when we integrated everything, we increased production in MCF and we changed all the trains to LHB, we removed the ICF trains and we could increase to 130. We were hoping that about 3 years ago, at least from Delhi to Indore, via Mathura, Savai Madhopur, Gangapur, Nagda, Ujjain, direct to Indore, we can run a Vande Bharat train. The range should not be 500 kilometers. We are looking at not less than 800 kilometers and perhaps up to 1,000 kilometers. An average speed we are expecting at not less than 100 kilometers per hour, but perhaps 110 kilometers per hour. It can accelerate in 1 minute. So you're looking at least 110 kilometers per hour. Now, if we are going to introduce Vande Bharat trains at 65 kilometers per hour and congesting the existing section, then we are just going back. So we need to now reintroduce these trains as point-to-point trains. And today, it is possible that if we introduce the Vande Bharat via Kota and we take it to Indore, I can have a Vande Bharat to Indore in a day service, morning, evening. Today, in fact, why should I take this Vande Bharat only to Bhopal? I can split the train in Jhansi, take half of it to Khajuraho and take the remaining half to Bhopal. So we have to now, as Professor Chaudhary in the morning very rightly said, we cannot extrapolate our way of working as we have been doing for the last 150 years. We have to unlearn and relearn. You know, how did we increase the production in MCF from 500 to 5,000? It's not because we extrapolated. No, we had to unlearn and we had to relearn. How did we convert all trains to LHB, which had not been done for 20 years? Because we had to So today, you're very right. 130 kilometers per hour, we have to make it as a mandate. And 160 kilometers per hour, maybe in the next 365 days. At least one section can be introduced. Why can't I at least 150 kilometers we have tried on the Konkan Railway, we have tried on the Delhi-Kota section. We've tried it before. We could run the Talgo train in 12 hours from Delhi to Mumbai. We were planning to run the Vande Bharat in 12 hours from Delhi to Mumbai. So I think we have to do a lot of unlearning and relearning. It is not going to be merely about spending lakhs of crores of rupees on infrastructure. We have to now, and as far as technology, we introduced smart coaches. Now we don't have any more smart coaches. I think DFC is doing a very good job in introducing predictive maintenance. But we should have predictive maintenance across the country. So that's where the mobility will improve. And then, you know, infra will show you the results.
Yeah, okay, so one more question, sir, please. Rajesh, sir.
It is not a question. of what the gentleman asked about this Vande Bharat Express. See, I just wanted to submit few things. This Vande Bharat is a semi-high speed. This is number one. Number two, the biggest challenge is the current collection. See, it has got the multiple units, and the current requirement is huge, and that is why this 2 into 25 kVA business is now coming up. So this is a requirement which we may have to augment. Otherwise, this Vande Bharat introduction, yes, as Rajesh Agrawal sir has said, that we'll have to unlearn and then relearn. So there are some challenges in this, but the government and the Ministry of Railway is fully focused to implement this. Just a supplementation.
Good afternoon, sir. In fact, this topic is very close to my heart, having spent a very long period of my career in the open line. The increasing of speed, that challenge has less to do with the kind of track or the kind of coaches we have, but we have to rethink why we are unable to increase the speed. You just kindly do a footplate in any Rajdhani Shatabdi Vande Bharat from Delhi to Agra or Delhi to Allahabad side, you will understand our major problem. Our major problem lies in the type of interference in the heavily congested areas. You see people taking their motorcycles across this. You see people taking their cattle across this table. They not only deteriorate the condition of the track, they also pose a very huge hazard to the running of high-speed train. Having said that, I would say that the time probably we have lost maybe around 2 decades or 3 decades. Instead of starting DFC, I am very, very convinced that instead of starting DFC, had we constructed high-speed corridor, at least on the golden quadrilaterals with great separators, this problem could have, the losing of passenger and freight, etc., to a large extent we could have lost. And the kind of money that we have spent on DFC, on third line, fourth line, automatic section, boundary wall, etc., that I would say would in a large extent would have been catered towards the bullet train, etc. The bullet train right now, what we are doing from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, had that been in place, at least in golden quadrilateral, our carrying capacity of goods as well as passengers and to a reliably satisfactory level, that should have been much better. That is my suggestion, sir.
गुड सजेशन सर, बट प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम एक हाथी को एक पैर दिख रहा है, कान दिख रहा है, सूंड दिख रहा है ना, सब अलग अलग बातें कर रहे हैं. पूरा हाथी को देखेंगे तो समझ में आएगा इलेक्ट्रिकल में प्रॉब्लम है, ट्रैक में प्रॉब्लम है, अंडर पासेस में प्रॉब्लम है. जब सबको क्लब करते हैं तो सोल्यूशन कहीं ना कहीं आता है. आई थिंक समबडी इज देयर. या सो देयर इज नो. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy the kind of responses coming from the audience. So I think the questions were actually good and the responses were good. So that's the reason the questions are coming. With this, I end the panel discussion here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for joining the sessions. Thank you. Anybody from organizer side?
Thank you so much, sir, for chairing this session. Now I request Mr. Surya Shah, Vice President, Urban Infra Group, to please kindly present the memento to our honorable dignitaries on the dais. To Mr. Rajesh Agrawal, sir. I request you, sir, to please kindly present the memento to Mr. Nanduri Srinivas, sir. Please present the memento to Mr. Anil, sir. To Mr. Hukum Singh, sir. And Mr. Ashish Singh, sir. Thank you so much, honorable dignitaries on the dais.